there are only 4 remaining teams that are undefeated. Number 17, Texas Tech, number 7, Vanderbilt, number 2, Texas, and the reigning national champion, UConn Huskies, take the top spot. And we're now joined by one of the head coaches from one of those undefeated teams, Krista Gerlich of Texas Tech. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Well, you ladies are off to the best start in your program history at 16-0. Just one of 4 undefeated teams in the nation and the only Big 12 team left. So what's been the difference maker for your team this season?
Well, I mean, obviously we have a great unit of seniors, and we have 9 seniors. We're really experienced, really driven, and they're playing with a sense of urgency for sure. But I just think that we have the right pieces, whether that be on our team, on our staff. They just are really connected and just playing a really unified basketball right now.
Well, let's talk about a piece that you added to your team. You recently announced the addition of Stephanie Okechukwu to this year's roster, the 7-foot center from Nigeria, making her the tallest women's college basketball player ever. Tell us about that recruiting process.
Yeah, so that's been a long process, with a lot of caution and a lot of just diligence, to be honest. Eric DeRue, I have to make sure I give him the credit. He's an associate coach of mine that has taken over our international recruiting the last 2 years, has done a fabulous job, and we just were able to make the right connections with the people in her camp, and we were willing to do the work. I think the hardest thing was trying to get her in the country, and I think that's where a lot of other schools maybe thought it wasn't worth the trouble maybe to go through or the manpower that it was going to take, but Coach DeRue just didn't take no for an answer, and we stayed diligent and again cautious because we knew that any point it could be denied and that she might not make it. But you can see on the video right there when she arrived, it was such an emotional moment because there was so much time and effort and heart put into it.
I can feel the joy radiating from the screen as I watch those visuals, Coach. Very special. What is she bringing to the court for the Lady Raiders?
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, the 7'1" frame and the 7'4" wingspan is just something that no other team is going to have. So obviously a paint presence, a rim protector, somebody that's going to be able to alter shots like crazy. But also, I think a huge target inside for us offensively too. She's got really good hands, has a great touch around the basket. It's going to be a work in progress and see how many minutes that we're able to play her when we get her initial eligibility approved. But she's excited. She's been watching every one of our games since we signed her in October. So she's very in tune to how our program is ran and what we expect of her on the court.
Well, let's take a look at the schedule. Let's look ahead a little bit as you try to maintain the success that you've been having. Is there a specific matchup that you have circled on the calendar? A lot of ranked opponents that you have coming up.
Yeah, well, I would probably say, I'm going to be remiss if I don't talk about the one we play today, right? I mean, Every game is huge for us moving forward. West Virginia is going to give us a really tough challenge, especially playing at West Virginia. And I'm always looking at just the next game, not ahead at the next game. But obviously, we've got some really great teams in our conference. Iowa State, I mean, everyone's going to look at that matchup if we have Stephanie on the court because of Audie Crooks. I mean, there's no doubt about that. TCU has a ton of height that we could match with her. But every game in this league is important, and every game is definitely a game that can jump up and get you. So it's the next one for us always.
Well, let's circle back to that West Virginia game you mentioned that you have tonight. They're also 3-0 in the Big 12, and they're riding a 7-game win streak. So give us a look at the scheme from a tactical perspective tonight. What's going to hand them their first conference loss?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to have to be able to handle their pressure. I mean, they do a great job in the full court of changing their defenses up, running that 2-2-1 defense that goes back to a zone, but at the same time, it's a matchup zone. They disguise their defenses really well. So we're going to have to be able to handle it and not give them live ball turnover opportunities to go score the bucket, because we need to really lock them down on the defensive end so that we can kind of counter what they do defensively. They're really athletic on the perimeter. They're big on the inside. They crash the glass really hard. So it's going to be a great game. And at West Virginia is a really tough environment to play in, and everybody in the conference knows that. So that in itself is going to be a challenge.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for taking the time, especially with the game tonight. Good luck and continued success this season.
Thank you so much. Let's wreck them.